And now we need to cook our zucchini and our red pepper, or our orange peppers. So in this pan, we're going to add a little bit of butter. And this pan is very, very hot. So we melt down some butter, and then we just saute and add our batonette of zucchini, and making sure that they're nicely spread apart so they get a nice even cook. And zucchini take a little bit of time to cook, so we'll let those cook in the butter for a little bit, and then we'll add our Paisan orange peppers. Shake that around a bit, get it nice and evenly distributed. And we'll season it with a little bit of salt and a little bit of black pepper. At this point, we'll pull our chicken out and see how it's doing. It's looking very, very nice. So what we want to do is make sure we check the internal temperature. And with a stem thermometer, I like to use the digital stem thermometers. We want to find the thickest part of the chicken and insert our stem thermometer until it reads 165. We're at 162 degrees right now, which is just perfect, because as this sits, we want to grab another sizzle platter, remove it to get it away from all the butter that cooked out of it and some of that fat from the thighs. And we want to let this just sit and continue to cook, because that's called carryover cooking. And then it'll easily jump up at least 5 degrees. Our zucchini and our peppers. Heat up our celery root puree a little bit. And then let's taste our sauce and see where that's at. It's lovely. You can taste the mushrooms, you can taste the shallots, the brandy, the white wine, the tomatoes are in there very, very nicely. What I am going to do is take a little bit of our tomato concassé, or our tomato paste, and incorporate it in there, just to give it a little bit of to thicken it up a bit, and to balance out the flavors. We're going to season that a little bit with salt, pepper, mix that up a little bit more. Our zucchini and our peppers have a nice sear on them. Give them a little stir and turn them off the heat. You don't want to overcook them too much. Those are ready to go. Taste our sauce one more time. Turn that off. And then we're going to mount au beurre. Mount au beurre is we're going to take a few sprigs of dices of butter, put it in there. We're going to finish with a little bit of parsley. And we're going to incorporate this off of the heat. What this is going to do is mellow out the flavor, give it a little bit of extra richness, and give it just a gorgeous, gorgeous shine that's going to be all over that plate and make that chicken just so delicious. So now we're ready to plate up our food. We want to do one last check of flavors and make sure everything is hot and ready to go. We have our celery root puree, which is looking wonderful. We added some cream and a little butter. Perfect, sweet, the salt balance is there. It's great. We have our Hunter sauce, and as we finish these, we'll move them over here. We just tasted that. We know it's delicious. We have a spoon and everything ready so we can put it onto the plate. We have our chicken, which has got a beautiful sear on it, and it's been resting for a minute so the juices retract. We have our zucchini and our red peppers nicely sauteed. We have our crispy potatoes, which we just pulled out of the oven. And we have our maple glazed carrots. So when we plate up, we want to make sure that we have all of our food ready. We have gloves that are clean. We have clean towels, tasting spoons, and we have a clean work area. I've been heating plates up in the oven. Hot food on hot plates is always nice. You don't need them excessively hot, but you do want them warm to make sure that the heat stays into the food before it goes to the customer. Beautiful, big, clean white plates to show off that food. We'll start with the celery root puree, putting that down just a little bit, a little pile of it just to give some elevation and some textural balance to the plate. All four, you want to make sure, are exactly the same way. That way everybody's plate looks the same as it goes out. Next, we'll put some of the zucchini and peppers down. And we'll just take some of the zucchini and put it down. 4 or 5 pieces on each plate. Make sure we get some of these Paisan vegetables. Pile those all up. Little orange peppers. Left a few off of that plate. A few more, just evenly distributed, so everybody gets about the same. Take some of our maple glazed carrots, nice brunoise, put those on the side of the other parsnips, or the other celery root puree. And I have a clean cutting board. I have a very sharp, clean knife. So we can cut our chicken. As we cut our chicken, we have 4 guests. So we have 2 breasts and 2 thighs. So if we cut the breast on an angle, each person will get a relatively the same amount of breast meat. We'll take our thighs and cut them the same way, and they'll get relatively the same amount of thigh meat. So we have 1, 2, right down, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Take our sauce, give it one last stir. You don't want to cover the chicken, but you do want to make sure you get enough on the plate just to bring it all together to really accent the chicken and not cover it up. Working with spoons allows us to get really close to the food where we can evenly make sure everybody gets relatively the same amount. We're not using a big messy ladle. We'll top this off with some of our crispy potatoes. And we can really, really, really focus and showcase all of those classical knife cuts that we did. Take our gloves off, and then we're ready to serve. So we have classical knife cuts of a batonette zucchini, Paisan peppers, brunoise carrots, julienne potatoes. Took a large dice of celery root and mashed it all up together. We have our concassé tomato in there, and a sautéed chicken breast and chicken thigh with the Hunter sauce. Once again, my name is Jeremy Abbey, Certified Executive Chef.